Just when you thought Xbox was going to be quiet for the next couple of days until their big event comes on June 12th, we have other news coming in. We have another event coming in from Xbox that's going to take place 2 days after the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. We have developers talking, and we also have some insiders talking about Avowed and some of the gameplay mechanics we might see. There's a lot of information here, and I can't wait to get into all of this because Xbox is truly looking to take over E3 and all of these gaming events that are about to take place. So let's get into all of these details and talk about what's going to happen. Alright, so you know the drill. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go to extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. All of the support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is this new extended edition of the show that is coming out on June 14th. That means Tuesday, 2 days after the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. Microsoft just officially announced a second show where they're going to have 90 minutes of deep dives into interviews, games, and a bunch of other stuff. Here's what's being reported and what's being talked about officially from Xbox. Microsoft will also have an extended Xbox and Bethesda Showcase with even more info. On June 12th, Microsoft will showcase the immediate and future roadmap of its gaming portfolio. The Xbox and Bethesda Showcase is expected to run over 60 minutes and feature a look at various known and unknown games from Starfield to Forza Motorsport. While the main live show will most likely be a rapid-fire affair packed with shorter trailers, Microsoft also revealed that it's going to put out a second showcase alongside it. On June 14th at 10 a.m., Microsoft will publish an extended Xbox and Bethesda Showcase video on its YouTube channel. Microsoft says that this extended presentation will offer some deeper dives into some of the announced games and will be accompanied by interviews with various developers. Now, this is something I have to talk about because I know that the game show and all the big E3 event that's going to be on stage where they announce all these new games and reoccurring games come out is going to be insane. That's the main show we're all looking forward to. We're all going to be glued to our TVs when June 12th comes along. But the one thing I always talked about, and I've always said multiple times on podcasts, Twitter, and everything else, is that while I love those shows, it's the shows after, during the week of E3, that Xbox really does go into detail about each and every single game, and we also get an amazing amount of gameplay in those shows. And this is just what that show is going to be. They're going to be talking to developers in interviews, maybe announcing a couple little things that might be coming to Game Pass, and of course, showing gameplay and doing deep dives. This is what I was saying I wanted to happen. If you remember my last couple of videos, I said that I want Xbox to go on stage, have maybe one deep dive into one game, mainly Starfield or Redfall, and have that gameplay show out. But then also announce things, give us cinematic trailers, or just give us 2 to 3 minute trailers of gameplay and then move on to the next one. Make it quick hits of games in that show. But then later, throughout the week, have developers go out and talk about their games. Talk about what Contraband is. Talk about what Avowed is. Talk about what Starfield, Redfall, whatever it is out there. Talk about those games in detail so we can get an understanding of what we're going to be playing. But also have those interviews and those new details attached to gameplay, because that's the biggest thing that everybody wants to see when they have a game is gameplay. And if you remember last year, which I just reported on last week, Xbox made it a mandate for all of their developers, if they were able to give gameplay for this year's E3. So for the last year, Xbox has been harping that they want gameplay at this showcase so they can show exactly what they have for us coming in the near and far future of Xbox. And in fact, let's go into what the article has to say about this gameplay feature and about this new show. Exactly what will be in the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase remains a mystery, but there are some easy assumptions one can make. Hotly anticipated sci-fi RPG Starfield is most likely to be at the show, offering a glimpse at how the game actually plays. We could hear from Turn 10 about the next iteration of Forza Motorsport, and also learn more about Arcane's intriguing vampire action game Redfall. We could also see new reveals from In Exile, Compulsion, Obsidian, and other Xbox game studios in the Microsoft family. Historically, Microsoft has also used these shows to debut gameplay from third-party partners. We could see gameplay footage from Diablo 4, for example, or even Soul Hackers 2 from Atlas. In the wake of Starfield and Redfall's high-profile delays, Xbox fans are anxious to learn what games are on the horizon for the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. After Sony's recent State of Play and a rumored showcase of God of War Ragnarok later this summer, the pressure is on Microsoft to maintain the momentum that has since it clinched sales success with its Gen 9 consoles. And this is something I wholeheartedly agree with. I think at the game show, they should just show everything to us, give us quick hits of what should be out there, and then from there, go into deep dives of what In Exile is doing, Compulsion, Obsidian, get us excited. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they have Ninja Theory in there, or what other developers that haven't really announced anything show up at this second event, give us a little bit of a hint of what's coming later on in the next year or two, and then have people excited. Bring the hype over to you, because it is true. With God of War Ragnarok coming out later this year, probably, and all the gameplay reveals that might happen with God of War and PlayStation later this summer, I'm almost certain that Xbox wants to keep the momentum going their way for not only this summer, but for the holiday season. And with them selling out Xbox Series S and X's like crazy and outselling pretty much everybody minus Nintendo, you can tell that Xbox has a lot of momentum going their way. And with that Redfall and Starfield delay, some of that momentum was taken away from them. But if you look at all the games that could be shown at this event, all that momentum can be brought back and then some. I mean, we're talking about big games like Forza Motorsport from Turn 10 that is going to be a graphical showpiece. We're talking about Avowed. We're talking about Starfield, Redfall, all of these games, not to mention In Exile, Compulsion, Obsidian, making games that we don't know about. And that's something that I actually wanted to go into. Hannah Kennedy, who is a developer at Obsidian, wanted to talk about some of the games that they're working on at their studio. Man, it's going to be extremely cool when I can finally share what I've been working on for the last 2 years. This is a developer directly from Obsidian Entertainment, kind of building up hype for the event, but also building hype for their studio. And Josh Sawyer actually replied to them with a pray hands emoji. So as you can tell, things are starting to pick up. And it's not just that game from Josh Sawyer. It's not just games from Obsidian. It's also games that we know about, like Avowed. We just had a recent thing come out that Jez Gordon and Randolph Thor, two friends of mine, talked about Avowed having muskets or guns in the game, 17th century slow charging guns, and they've actually seen the gameplay of these. Now, this isn't a surprise to me because Pillars of Eternity actually has those type of mechanics within the game, and seeing as Avowed is set in that world, you can tell that it's going to have that kind of mechanic in it. Now, overall, I'm excited to just see what this is all about. I'm excited to see what the second show is going to give us. And I'm excited to see what Xbox has in store for us. Because we have to remember, this show is going to be a massive one for Xbox. With all the delays and pretty much nothing from first party coming out at the end of this year, if not all year in 2022, Xbox has a tall order to get people excited for their platform. And that's something that I believe they need to do intensely. Don't slow down, don't stop. Keep going. And with their official website saying that this is going to be about 90 minutes in length, you can tell that they want to have the creators shine. They want to put the games forward and show us exactly what they're making. And you know what? I'm all for it. I'd rather have them have 2 or 3 shows talking about all the games they have. Sure, the first show that's going to be the main event, give us all the games and even some surprises and maybe some announcements that are a few years out of the way. But if you talk about the deep dives, I want to see the games that are going to be coming out in the next 10 to 12 months. Basically, the next year. I want to see Starfield get a deep dive. I want to see Todd Howard out there talking about this game. I want to see Redfall's deep dive. I want to see every single game, even Forza Motorsport, go into the technology, go into the new features that Turn 10 has created, go into everything that you're creating and put it on this second show because people will watch this. It'll build up hype, and especially for the people that are hardcore gamers. We all want to see that. We want to see these games. We want to see the gameplay, and to be honest, I think they're going to do that. I think this is going to be one of Xbox's biggest show, and I think they're going to start talking about Diablo 4 and other third-party titles at this event also, because we have to remember, they signed a lot of third-party deals, they've signed a lot of exclusive deals. Warhammer just had a bunch of games shown off, and one of the games, Darktide, is going to be exclusive and also drop day and date in Game Pass, and that releases September 13th. So as you can tell, Xbox has a lot of things that they can show off. Now, Are they going to do what we ask? Are they going to show this gameplay? Are they going to have developers go deep diving into this? I believe so. I've said this for several months. I've said this for a very long time. I think Xbox understands what they need to do. They put that mandate out there for gameplay. They put that mandate out there for people and developers to be out there to get interviewed and go deep into what their games are all about. And I think they understand exactly what gamers want, and that's good for me because as a gamer, this event and all of these things that I'm hearing is exactly what I wanted to see from Xbox. But let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think we're going to get a big deep dive of Starfield? Do you think we're going to get a big deep dive of Redfall? Or do you think we're going to get big deep dives of other games that we don't even know about? And do you think the interviews are going to be informative like we've seen before? Will we get crazy mechanics revealed? Will we get something different from Starfield or Redfall that we didn't even know about? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I have to admit, I've been doing nothing but playing Game Pass games. All I've been jumping into is Sniper Elite 5. That game is so addicting. I love it. I think it's one of the best looking games I've played in quite some time. It is so fun to play, and it just has so much content. You could go into Horde mode, which I find extremely intense. It's not actually easy. If you play with a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, you will get overwhelmed in that game mode. So I've beaten all 3 maps of that. I've gotten a bunch of achievements playing that game, and I have to admit, the game is bigger than I thought. I might actually even buy the Wolf's House DLC that came out with it. I think it's like $5 or $6, but with Game Pass, you get 20% off or 10% off or whatever that is. But I'm going to be jumping into that DLC, and I'm also been playing Apex Legends again, which I love, and of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That game, I'm trying to get through it, but man, is it really long, and it's starting to kind of wear on me. But over time, I think I'll get back into it and, you know, kind of finish it up because I want to get into the Dawn of the Ragnorak because that game looks insane. I know it didn't sell well, but for me, all the abilities and the difference that it is between the main Assassin's Creed game and how they go into the mythology really intrigues me. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your Xbox Series X, your Xbox Series S, or are you on your PlayStation 5 and PC playing something? Let me know down below because that's what we're here for, is to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.